Hey, what's up, man? What's good with you, bro?
Just chilling, man. You know, another day. Blessed to see another day, man. What about you?
Another day in paradise, man. Just you know how we do, man. You know how the bloodline does, man. You know how we rock. So as we get older, we get younger. That's the bloodline. So we just got to keep doing what we do, man.
Yeah, that's
But
exactly like how you say it.
let's get to it, man. The Sinners movie. You and Ross told me straight up, hey, man, you gotta check this movie out, bro. Like the movie is epic. It's a movie of epic proportions. It's a movie of epic magnitudes. It's a movie that you have no choice but to check out. I'm going to tell you right now because I think it's very important that the world knows this. That movie is single handedly the greatest movie in Hollywood this year, bar none. Michael B. Jordan showed vast, full range, like you stated, because that was your term, and full ability with his acting to be both on a good side and both on a bad side. And usually in movies where you have people that play twin roles, they do a horrible job. You could look on the background and see the person is not really the twin that other person is. But I'm not gonna lie, man. Everything with that movie was on point. And there's a lot of genres into the movie that talks about, it shows you how men through women, because that's how Stag's character fell through old girl. And it also shows you how women can uplift and empower men, how the other one uplifted, Smoke. So you could see those nuances happening in the movie. But I gotta say, hats off to Ryan Coogler, hats off to Michael B. Jordan, hats off to the cast, hats off to the fact that it took black individuals, a black cast, to basically bring Hollywood back to respectability, because Hollywood has been sinking the ship left and right when it comes to movies after movies after movies after movies. So I want to know your take on Sinners, the movie review, what you felt about it, so that way we can go ahead and chop it up further.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back on. Yeah, just like you said, man. Uh, you couldn't describe that movie even better, man. That movie is a classic because it had its own original feel to it. You know, you truly saw the acting range from Michael B. Jordan in this film, because a lot of people have been saying that they don't think Michael B. Jordan has range, because pretty much he's like The Rock. He plays like the same character actor. He plays the same character literally in every film. He hasn't shown like a certain range of acting, but this is the movie to go watch to see his talent, because as he plays the two brothers, you see this
Really?
that's what I've been hearing from people. Like I've been seeing that from uh, YouTube. People making these
Really?
comments. They saying that Michael B.
So they
got no
didn't see the movie. They didn't see the movie. They didn't see the movie when he died. I forgot the name of it, but they didn't see the movie when he died. That was the movie that broke him out. The
in
one that he
Fruitvale
died
Station.
in the subway
Yeah,
where
yeah,
he
that
was doing
it's
a
called
biopic.
Fruitvale.
Yeah,
Yeah, he displayed acting range there.
yeah, that was the movie. That was the movie that showed his range.
I don't know what people they're saying that they're critical of his acting, but this is the movie to really show his acting range. He puts it all on the line as he plays twin brothers. You see the distinction between two brothers, the different personalities, and how one has the serious feel to him. The other one is like the goofy, playful one, or not serious. You see his acting range displayed here. So if these people can't appreciate the actor that he is after watching this film, I don't know what they'll want from him. But this movie is definitely a classic. Ryan Coogler, he has an Oscar-worthy film with this film, man. The cast, everybody was on point. The young guy that played the musician, their cousin, his name is Miles Caton. That's his real life acting name. The dude is that was his first movie as an actor. You know, this dude did a tremendous job. The music, I read up on his background. He comes from a musicianal family. Like he comes from a family of musicians, and you could tell this dude knows what he's doing out there. He can sing. He can play the what he was playing the guitar, or was it the cello?
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
kid,
it's
man,
playing both. Both.
he's playing both. Yeah, that kid is a phenomenal actor. He has a bright spot in Hollywood. He's going places. The other actor, we have a famous legendary black actor in that film, Delroy Lindo. I don't know if you know
Hmm.
him. He's been in a whole
Yep.
bunch of films. You know,
Yep.
that dude did a solid job, man. You know, he was a solid supporting actor alongside Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
Haley,
big boy that was up on 8 Mile. He
big
did a
yeah,
great
big
job.
boy. Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. The Caucasian girl, Haley Steinfeld. She's been in some movies.
Is
She's
she
known.
white or is she mixed? Or is she just white white?
They're saying that she has black heritage in her. She has a
Okay.
mix of races, but she talked about her black side from. She's saying that her great grandfather was half black, so she does have black in her. So
Yeah, you could see
the what the way
you could see that there's something there.
yeah, there's something there from her. So she did a tremendous job in the role that she played. Everybody who was in that movie did a tremendous job, man. I mean, it was just
I just
a
loved
breath of
how
fresh air.
raunchy I loved how raunchy the movie was. I loved how they talk like how we talk when we're in the trenches. I love how they use the nigga term. You love how they use pussy. I just loved it. It was just raw, and that's what
Yeah,
movies are missing. Like they're missing a element or touch from reality, and they're missing the fact that this is how people talk on an everyday basis. Like this is the reality on how people get down. So that's what I loved about it more so than anything else. And then the fact that it really shed light on a lot of nuances, a lot of things. Because people could say what they want about the veil in between one world to the next, but music is a very spiritual thing. And I like the fact that the movie harped on that. I mean, when you even think about music itself, you think of Lucifer, right? Who ultimately became the devil himself, Satan himself. He was the usher and the bringer in of music. Like music is in his body. Like it talks about in Ezekiel how musical instruments and musical trumps, the way God created him, they're in his body. Like he's basically like a walking, living embodiment of music. So, a lot of nuances was there, in the
yeah.
film.
They said this film touched on the spiritual aspect of things too. You know, like you could saw it, like the the protagonist in this film. That's what lured him. That's what lured him to basically wanting to pursue these people in this film, the main actors of the film, because of the music. That's what lured him in. His uh, that music was pretty much intoxicating.
It was.
It was intoxicating.
It was. I'm gonna be honest. It was, and it's interesting you said that because not only was the music intoxicating, it was just the way the nuances happened. Everything happened like you know how in these types of movies they try to force things or they make things so predictable. Like Big Boy was mounting security for a minute, so it made sense for him to have to go pee outside. That's realistic, you know. Um, the fact that they touched on the KKK, but they did it in a way that has never been done before. Usually they just make it like pure brutality, and they make it seem like it's a one-sided thing, and the black man, or the nigga doesn't have a chance. But I liked how they empowered Smoke and Stag's character like out the gate to let it be known that, hey, you look, we purchasing this place. But if you motherfuckers come in here and you step out of line, this is what's about to fucking happen. I love that. I love the
Yeah,
element of that. I love the element of how they introduced that. I love the fact that they made that very profound, because these are real things that actually had to happen. Like, it's not just a one-sided thing at those times. There obviously was some fight back. There was some get back. There were guys like a Smoke and a Stags that was moving around in those periods of time. So I really liked how they touched on that. But what I loved with the movie was the cinematography, and I loved how the shots in the film. I loved how they touched on how they were able to transition from scene to scene. Because a lot of times movies have this bad thing where they just kind of just lag, and they take their time and they don't go into a scene, or they carry a scene way too far, or they carry a scene way too long. I like how they kept the scenes exactly to the T of what it was supposed to be. And they made every character true to what they were. Like the Asian woman, her breaking down because she's thinking about her daughter, and her ultimately saying, "Hey, y'all invited in." I like that, because what, she was supposed to follow the script. Her whole life was basically ruined. Her husband done turned into whatever, which is the head of who she looks up to, and now they talking about they were going after her daughter. So what else was she supposed to do in that situation?
exactly. Is this a spoiler-free review, or are we,
We just
talking
going
about
in.
certain? We
If
just
you go
going in.
watch it,
Okay.
that's on you. If they watch it, they watch it. They don't, they don't. We've already watched it.
Yeah, we
I mean,
already
that's
watched it.
usually how
Yeah,
it is with reviews. I mean, you're gonna talk about the movie. Now, the person has to, like Ross said the other day, you're still, this movie is so great that even though we're explaining the nuances of what's going on, you're still not going to get the gravity of it, like you guys had told me, until you actually go watch it yourself. You have to go watch it yourself to get the full gravity of the movie. But that movie right there, if Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan don't walk away with Oscars left and right, then the Oscar itself is a travesty, and it no longer needs to have any kind of recognition ever again. And I'm not saying that we as a people need to be upheld by Oscar standards. I don't believe in that. I believe that we're higher than Oscar standards, if you ask me, because entertainment, the culture, music, everything moves by the thumb of people that look like me and you. Without me and you, if God never created people that look like me and you to ever exist on this planet, there would be no rhythm, there would be no blues, there would be none of that. There would be no music, there would be no flavor, there would be no swag, there would be no style. There would be none of that. There wouldn't be a bunch of satisfied women getting their pussies pounded the fuck out. There wouldn't be none of this. So let's just be honest. So, it takes us to create that flow and that style and that swag and that popularity and that flair that the world is accustomed to. The greatest of the greatest looks like me and you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the greatest of the greatest look like me and you from the Bible. So if there's none of us, the world really doesn't even move the way it's supposed to. So the Oscars doesn't define sinners. But what the Oscars needs to do is it needs to recognize greatness. Because like I've always said,
exactly.
greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. And you can't stop the greatness that you saw. Not especially when Rotten Tomatoes has given it a 98% rating, especially when you see that all critics alike are linear in their review of the movie, and on top of that, fans. Usually it's one way or the other. Usually critics are like, yeah, this movie's great, and then the fans are like, oh, this is bullshit. But in actuality, it's both.
Both sides enjoyed this film.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's both. So people could say what they want, but this film was what it was. I mean, is there anything else you want to say regarding the film itself?
I mean, yeah, the film just deserves its recognition for being original. It had its own spin to including horror from the side of a vampire that's pursuing its prey. We've seen all type of vampiric movies, but this movie had its own original spin to it. People could say that Ryan Coogler said that From Dusk Till Dawn gave him inspiration from this movie to make this type of movie. I don't know if you've seen that movie. I'm pretty sure you've seen that movie. He knows. You remember From Dusk Till
Mm-hmm.
Dawn, and how
Mm-hmm.
it popped off where the family they went in that bar. I guess they were kidnapped. They were dealing with those criminals, and they had to pretty much do what those criminals uh, oh, those criminals told them what they had to do, and they all went to that bar, and that bar turned out to be a vampire bar. Pretty much, whoever was caught up in that bar was preyed on by those vampires. But
Hmm.
uh, it was like a twist, like people didn't expect that from that film. This movie had its own twist to it, but it had a different side of how it introduced the vampire and how he played a part in this film. And I thought that it was just original, and the way the movie was shot and the music that was involved in the movie all were A1, man. Ryan Coogler deserves his flowers for this film. Michael B. Jordan deserves his flowers for the way he acted in this film and the range he displayed, playing both those parts as twin brothers. And the other actors who were involved in this movie deserve their flowers. The people who shot the movie deserve their flowers. Because man, if I would suggest or recommend watching this movie in IMAX, because I wanted to. I've heard people say that you got to watch this movie in IMAX. I don't really go to IMAX. I always just go to a regular standard movie showing. But I wanted to see this movie in IMAX, and man, I was blown away. For how this movie was shot and how the music, man, that was pouring out of those speakers. I was like, man, this thing is crazy. But man, I was enjoying every minute of it.
I'm glad you said that because to me that movie was ridiculously good, man. Um, the other thing too is, and it doesn't get talked about often, is once a person is viewed a certain way in people's minds, they cannot get past that person in their mind. So Michael B. Jordan, man, people need to put respect on his name. They just need to. There's no way around that.
Exactly. And I like his humble approach, man, to the film. Like he's allowing those other actors to get shine too. You know how in some of these films, the main actor is the one that gets the shine. But he's done it like the reverse way, man. Like he's allowing these, especially that young kid, the one that played the cousin in the film. He's been allowing him to get some shine, and the other actors to get that time, where they can introduce themselves a little more to the masses, because that's what they do when they're promoting a movie. All these actors got to go out there, red carpet, or they do these interviews and they do like these engagements on YouTube, and where people are interviewing them. And Michael Jordan, he
Mhm.
kind of stepped back a little. He had his time to talk, give his 2 cents on the film, how what they did, the experiences, how they prep. But he let a lot of those actors get their shine, and I just tell him hats off for doing that, being a consummate professional and letting others get their shine.
I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about knowing where your status is as a star. He knows his status already there, and just bringing everybody else out. I just liked how they touched on spirituality, and I liked how they touched on the reality of how when a person is gifted with a certain thing, you can't take the gift away from them. Like, I get it that the father wanted him to put down, the guitar, but that's his gift to the world.
Yeah.
And I liked how they didn't they he basically, rebelled against that. And I liked how so many years later they came to him, and it shows that the, Michael B. Jordan and then the love interest, they apparently was able to escape, the whole sunlight thing where everybody else got burned up. So they escaped and they came to him. And this is what I liked about it. It wasn't like these typical vampire movies where, okay, so many years later they're coming to kill you. It was like so many years later a reunion. That's what I liked about it. Like, a lot of vampire movies can look at this movie, because a lot of them are cheesy. They can look at this movie as like the blueprint on how to build on vampire movies moving forward. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I mean,
It didn't cheesy vampire feel.
there's been some good vampire movies, like the I don't know if you ever seen this one. It's called the story of Dracula Untold. That came out some years ago.
Hmm.
I thought that was a pretty good movie. How where it talked about Tepesh, Vlad Tepesh or something like that, and how he had to protect his people. He was called the Impaler
Hmm.
or something like that, but he was going up against an army that he couldn't defend his people from. So he went to a cave and he found some ancient vampire in there, and he made a deal with that vampire to gain his power for a day to be able to wipe out that army to protect his family and his people. But the deal was if he doesn't return back, if he was to bite someone and
Hmm.
drink human flesh, he's going to remain in that form, and that guy was going to be able to be released from that cave because someone trapped him there. He was an old vampire that was trapped there by his own master. So he made the
Damn.
deal with Vlad Tepesh, and some things happened, and Vlad Tepesh drank human blood. So he would that old vampire was free, but Vlad Tepesh he still ended up destroying that army. But he wasn't able to save his family. But he was still able to wipe out the army. But that was a good movie. I would recommend going to watch that movie if you haven't watched it. Uh, the Dracula Story Untold. That was a pretty good vampire movie. There's been some bland ones in the past, but that one was a good one. This one was a really good one. Sinners, how because it was original, man. It's
Hmm.
just the whole way how the movie was. Even if it didn't have the vampire side into it, I feel that this movie could have still been great. It could have went somewhere else. With the message it was trying to display, and it still would have been a great movie. That's how good this movie was.
Exactly. And um, the other thing too that, I like, about this whole overall genre of the film is the fact that the film gave reality to how these worlds, both the metaphysical and the physical world, mesh and they blend with one another, so to speak. And it's crazy how both worlds are like so intermingling with one another. And there's vampires amongst us. I mean, there's people in Russia, they tell you all the time vampires live there. I believe that shit.
Mm.
Like, I really believe this. Like, when movies make these types of movies over and over again, they're drawing it from a place. People just think people just are reading books and there's fantasies and all of that. And I get it. People can get very like, laughable and, comical about, oh, these things don't exist. but people can't even explain how you were formed. Even on a subatomic level, from an atom to, a base level when it comes to that, your cellular DNA, they can't even go further than that to explain that. They can't even explain how the world came about. So if you can't explain these types of things, and you can't even explain where you go after you die, you can't explain what it looks like after death, then at some subatomic level, spiritually, in your deep conscious, you have to tell yourself there has to be more than what it is. Because if you look at all of the films, all of the the animes, all of the movies, all of these things that are drawn out, a lot of it is based off of spirituality, principality, good, bad, evil, da 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 da. To me, vampires represent some form of a demon. That's the way that I look at them, as a type of demon. That's how I look at them.
Yeah,
But to me, it's a reality. It's a reality because for you got to think of the element of what they're doing. The eyes represent evil. The bite represents possession because they're taking basically your body, and your body becomes a host for whatever that being is, and then that being lives in that body for however long until it decides to take on another body. What does that sound like to you? A demon. That's what a demon does.
yeah, yeah.
So that element, and then
Gain
the element
supernatural
on how the guy
abilities.
was saying you got to invite me in. You got to invite me in. It just shows you that we actually have more power than we think that we do. We give too much power to these principalities and these spirits, thinking that they have power over us. But if you look at it, they had to be invited in. They weren't going to be able to come in until they were invited in.
Yeah, yeah. That's a old, uh, that's an old pastime thing amongst vampires. They always are asking to be invited in. If they're not invited in, you can't. They can't come in. They need your permission. This is why the scene
Exactly.
where the Asian woman, she broke down, and she eventually let them in the film when they threatened her young child. And that was when things got really wild, man. Because you knew
Yeah.
people, there was going to be casualties in that scene. People were not going to make it. People were going to be turned because the dude pretty much had an army by then, a horde of vampires.
Yeah. And segueing now from that into Timberwolves and the Lakers, um, because I feel like we really got to harp on this and talk about it. Again, we talked about this. We said that the Lakers are in trouble. Even after this game too, they're in trouble because for JJ Redick to have to do some kind of halftime speech and some cockamamie bullshit where he has to galvanize the guys only so that they could win by 9 points. And here's the caveat: Ant still didn't go off. He only had 5 more points than what he did previously. He went from 20 to 25. Could you imagine if he had the 42-point game that we said? If he had the 42-point game, if you take away 17 from 9, that means the Lakers lose by 8 points with a 42-point game from this dude. So the only thing that was left in that game was Ant going off. The reason why the Timberwolves lost that game is because their role playing production didn't do the same thing that the Lakers role playing production did. And really, I won't say role playing because I looked at the overall stat sheet. It's just the stars on the Lakers showed up more than the stars on the Timberwolves. But what's your take on it?
Man, my take is I'm disappointed with Ant because that was a game he was supposed to show up in. Because game one, he didn't really play that well. It was the role players that played phenomenal, and they won that game. This was a game he was supposed to show up for his guys because he didn't. He looked at time. There was at times at that game where he was not doing anything. Like he was like, man, where is Ant? He doesn't. What? Because I actually watched that game yesterday, just to see what was going to happen, and I knew the Lakers were going to get the benefit of the whistle. They were calling some very strange calls in that game. Luka and LeBron were getting some strange calls. The Lakers were allowed to play a lot more aggressively on defense than the Timberwolves. LeBron was
Yeah,
out there grabbing people, fouling people. They weren't calling fouls on him. I was like, man, it's obvious what's going on here, and still Timberwolves had a chance to come back and steal that game. They just needed Ant. They were
exactly.
calling quick fouls on Nas Reed. They were calling quick fouls on Jalen McDaniels, on Dante DiVincenzo, all the guys who were impactful in game one. It was obvious. They're like, we're not going to let these guys come out and have a good game because we cannot allow these guys to put the Lakers in a hold down 0-2. Okay. And should have said like, okay, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to screw my guys over. I gotta step up. You know what I'm saying? I can't disappear. I felt that Ant disappeared at times in that game, man. And like he was not assertive. You know, you gotta be assertive. I expect, man, game three for Ant to wake up. He needs to wake up because he need it's they're not gonna allow those role players. There's gonna be politics in this series because NBA has
Hmm.
their team that they wanna promote. It's obviously the Lakers.
Well, I don't think that's the case. I don't think the NBA is promoting the Lakers because let me tell you why I don't think this is the case. For the Lakers to have to win that way
Yeah,
and Ant didn't go off and it's only a 9 point game, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the NBA, the Lakers itself, the prestige of the team or whatever, yeah, they're still attractive, but I don't think the the commissioner and all of these guys are focused on if the Lakers move on or not. Because let's be honest, the ratings were great last year without LeBron being there, and they could see that. So it's really they really don't even care like that if the Lakers get past where they need to or not. The I think it's really what you just said formally that was more important. Anthony Edwards not taking the opportunity to go off, and this is why I believe in Game 3 he's gonna go off because he's gonna realize it was on him. He was just so caught up in telling a fan, "My dick is bigger than your dick." I saw that shit.
he got fined for that.
He got so caught up in doing that. He got so caught up in doing that that he lost his rhythm, his mindset. Now, here's the thing. This is when being real, too real, sometimes can be a detriment to yourself. Because certain things you're just not supposed to say. And certain things you're supposed to be mindful. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be mindful of your surroundings. Yes, you make $200 million, but you don't got to throw the $200 million in people's face. And I love the fact that Anthony Edwards is real, but when you reach a certain level, it's like the Spider-Man movie. With great power comes great responsibility. Yes, do black men have bigger dicks than white guys and white other men? Yes, we do. Are we fucking all of the women on the planet? Yes. Are all the women coming to us? Yes. I know in the service, I used to be with a bunch of dudes and they'd be like, "Man, we don't got no chance with you because these girls gonna want BBC." We know this to be true, but you don't gotta say it out loud, Anthony Edwards. I mean, you like, come on, just chill out.
Listen, man,
It's
I
known.
was gonna harp on
It's
this.
known.
I was gonna harp on this, man, but I wanted to. But I now that you touched on it, I gotta touch on it. And Edwards, man,
Yeah, you have to.
he lucky. David Stern is not the the still the commissioner. He lucky David Stern is passed away. Rest in peace to him. But if he was alive, he's lucky that guy is not the commissioner of the NBA because I remember David Stern being harsh on AI, man, Allen Iverson, because he didn't like that image he brought to the NBA, man. If you don't, if you didn't pay attention, Allen Iverson was officiated differently from the other stars in the NBA, man. He was not given the preferential treatment like those other guys. He had referees that didn't like him. Personally didn't like him, and they didn't give him calls. And David Stern didn't like that image of the cornrows, that certain look, wearing certain attire, not coming in professionally, having a professional look. and he has this image where he's gonna say what he wants to say. He's gonna be as real as he wants to be. But like as you say, there's a time to be real and there's a time not to be real, bro. And if you got to do like David Stern still as the commissioner of the NBA, he's gonna want you to portray a image and act like a professional in some capacity. And Edwards, man, he don't be doing that, man. So you lucky. That's all I'm gonna say. The boy is lucky. If you had a commissioner like that in the league, he would. Minnesota wouldn't even have a chance in this series. I'm gonna tell you that. So he needs
Yeah,
to
and but
he gotta.
this is the way I look at it. This is the way I look at it, man. I look at it like this. Um, the way that I look at it is as simple as this. Anthony Edwards is gonna be Anthony Edwards. He already told you he's not the face of the league, but you can't fault him for monopolizing the fact that Adam Silver is not David Stern. He's taking advantage of that too. He's a smart dude. Like guys in this social media era, one thing I can say about Generation Z folks that they're smart at when they're dumb at everything else is they're smart at maximizing the era of social media that they're in. He knows in the climate that he's in, he could kind of get away with shit like this because he knows Adam Silver just lacks cojones. Like Adam Silver's not gonna say nothing. So you can't fault him for for being the way that he is, knowing the climate of what he's in. Because in this climate, players are like the owners, and the owners are like the players. It's like the roles have reversed. They're giving the players literally anything they want. The players could literally piss on themselves, and they make $100 million a year. The players basically could just sit down and don't play basketball and get the leverage that they want. So he's basically maximizing the opportunity that's in front of him. Now, with that being said, there's still a smart way to do it. I just think that he went a little overboard with that because you're Anthony Edwards, so anything you say is always gonna be put on social media. It's gonna be viral. And yeah, people that's from his area, Atlanta, they're like, yeah, that's how Atlanta dudes are. Da, 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 da. It's not really an Atlanta thing. It's more of that's how people that are real are. When somebody's real like that on that level, that's how I used to be in my 20s. That's why I could relate to Anthony Edwards because I was like that too. You remember when we was at Securitas and I embarrassed that manager right in front of you. You was getting ready to go to work. So you know how brutal I was. You was sitting there in the background laughing like, damn, did my brother just emasculate this dude? That's how it was. That's why I know how Anthony Edwards is because I was exactly like him in my 20s. Emasculate dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like you just don't give a fuck. But it's more of Anthony Edwards is a young dude. We forget that. He's a jit. Like me and you could have him. He could be our kid. You still have to think about that because he's what, 24?
Yeah.
Right? So he could be both of our kids when you think about it. So he's still young. He's still going through the process. And yes, you expect greater with great responsibility, great power comes great responsibility, but everybody's not going to have that Kobe Bryant maturity and that mentality out the gate. Kobe's just like a man amongst boys. Most guys are like Anthony Edwards. They got to learn through growing pains. They got to figure it out through trial and error. Shit, I was like Anthony Edwards. I had to figure out shit through trial and error. Most people are like that. So he's just being the way he is. The problem is his celebrity and his stature mixed with the fact that he's just saying whatever comes out of his mouth, it's going to work against him because they're going to always put him on video. They're always going to basically showcase what he's saying. But he did shut that motherfucker up when he kept saying my dick bigger than your dick. He shut him up. I'm not going to lie. I laughed when he said that.
I mean,
because that dude probably was pissing him off in what he was saying. You know what I'm saying?
You know what he
Because
said?
a lot of times
they were talking about his baby mama issue, that the girl that freshly
yeah,
dressed
a
him,
lot of
and
times
he had to pay money to
yeah, a lot of times these fans get out of pocket and they say things. And where's the accountability in kicking these fans out? Because these fans are supposed to be checked. They're supposed to be kicked out of basketball games when they get out of line with these guys. And they have to do a better job of protecting their investment, because players are an investment, right?
Yeah.
So if the investment is being affected, especially at the level of an Anthony Edwards, then why are you getting in the way of Anthony Edwards?
Well,
Because he's one of the investments. Whether he want to say he's the face or not, he's one of the main cogs of why people glue in and watch TV, NBA related things. So if a fan is heckling him in a playoff game, that you want him to be in that game as much as possible with participation, then you need to find a way to kick that fan out too.
well, I don't know if they're gonna kick the fan out for talking about something that's put out to the public to know about, because a lot of people know about his off the court stuff where he's having these kids with these women, but he's not. He's telling these women he's not going to be in these kids' lives, and he doesn't want anything to do with the women or the children. He's just going to pay the 18 years right then and there so he can be done with them, and it's got a lot of negative publicity. So Ant's got to be smart. Like, don't. I understand you want to put these people in their place, but why even entertain these people? Why? There's no point. These people don't. He brought up him having a certain amount of M's too. Over 200, what, 200, 300 million. He said Gobert got 250 million. He got 300 million. Like, come on, man. These people know you got a lot of money, man. Like, there's no need for all that stuff, bro.
Yeah,
You on a high level. You're a phenomenal athlete. You're super talented at what you're doing. You have a chance to be a really great player if you continue to work on your craft. Sky's the limit. But
exactly.
at some point you got to grow up, dog. You got to grow up. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying. I'm not gonna tell him how to live his life, but he hopefully someone that's close to him can give him pointers, and hopefully he listens.
exactly. But he's young, man. I like what he did though. I like the fact that he paid 18 years out the gate up front. She wasn't expecting that. Come on, man. That was a smart. Whoever advised him to do that, that was smart, because a lot of these dudes, they're not moving like that. Now she can't come back double dip, triple dip, none of this bullshit. Here's 18 years. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm done with your ass. On the grand scheme of things, you think of all of the bigger contracts he's going to get down the road. He made out on that situation when you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, somebody put their 2 cents in. They were saying that depending on the state, if his contract uh, goes up significantly more, she could always try to go back and make a case to go
No,
try
she
to get
can't.
more.
She can't.
Yes,
She
she
can't
can.
because
Yes, she
she
can.
agreed.
It's happened
She
before.
can't because she agreed based on the terms of that state and what was going on in that state. You can't come back and double dip later on because she moved to another state. No, that's not how it works. It's where the kid was born, where the kid was raised, and how the kid was developed. And the kid was developed in the state where he was able to put that 18-year deal. Trust me, it wasn't. That's not a him. That's not an Anthony Edwards master plan situation right there. You know who mastermind that? That was his lawyer. He clearly had a savvy lawyer that understood the full legalities behind things. And her lawyer obviously sided with that lawyer, because the way it works in the court system is nothing's going to pass unless all three sides agree. That means both lawyers had to agree and the judge has to sign off. That's how these things typically work. So his lawyer was savvy enough to craft something. Her lawyer was savvy, was basically like, yes, we're in agreement with that, and the judge signed off on that. Once that thing is signed off and it's sealed and it has the judge's signature, you can't go back and double dip off of the same child. Now if he has another child with her in a different area, that's a different thing, but you can't double dip off the same child. Come on, man. Just because she moved to another state, nah, that's just people running their mouths. That what he did, what you're gonna start seeing is a bunch of athletes are gonna start doing that now. They're gonna say, "Hey, here's 18, here's 18 years up front." You're gonna see this more often, man. Anthony Edwards started a new trend. Here's 18 years up front, based on the state that you was in, and now I don't have to deal with your ass. I'm only gonna deal with my child. I'm telling you.
Nah, man,
I'm glad
that boy is ruthless. He don't want to deal with the kid either. That's why it's gotten negative publicity. He don't want to deal with the
who
kid
says he
either.
doesn't want to deal with the kid? Who says he doesn't want to deal with the kid? That's gossip, man. We don't know that. We don't know if the dude doesn't want to deal with his kid. People always want to put a negative light on men and quote unquote say fathers don't want to be in children's lives and all this other. That's BS, man. We don't know that. That's just her or her team and all of these other people pushing that false narrative. We don't know that. He just don't want to deal with her rabbit ass. Think about it. What man doesn't want to deal with their child? When a man knows, unless he's just one of those guys that are just a deadbeat, don't want to be around, and et cetera, because we do have those. But what man you know that's willing to come out the pocket and pay? You think he's coming out paying because of her, or he's coming out paying because he wants the kid taken care of? That's a clear indicator if he's coming out the pocket to pay, he's making sure the kid is getting taken care of. Now, whatever she does with the money, that's on her. But it's very clear that he's doing that because of the responsibility of the kid. Do you think if the kid wasn't involved, he would want to cut a check? Come on, man.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
people always
he's
shit
been on record,
negative.
he's been on record telling multiple females to abort the child, man. He didn't want.
I'm
He
not
didn't want
saying
them
that.
to.
I'm not saying that he's an angel, because he's a young dude.
I'm not saying
Young dudes
yeah.
make bad decisions. They make bad decisions, but clearly he didn't abort this kid, right?
I mean, because he wasn't gonna stop this woman from having the child.
Yeah, but
You know?
wasn't he in a relationship with this woman?
No, this is a side piece.
You sure about
He
that?
already has. Yeah, this is not his girl. This is not his main girl. He's still with his main girl. These is a side piece. This is
I
the
thought the
rapper.
main girl. I thought him and the main girl are not together no more.
They're still together. This is Chief Keef, the rapper. This
Yeah.
is Chief Keef's baby mama, man. That he had this woman with, that he had this
Are you
child with.
sure, man? I think you got to go back and look. I think she was the
Bro,
main girl that decided.
it's not the main girl. You see, this is the second girl that Edwards did this to, or had this situation with. He had another one earlier, a few months ago, that got pregnant, and she got everything on text message to like
Look,
expose
man,
him.
I don't have. I'm gonna tell you right
That
now.
boy
I'm gonna
gotta
tell
be
you right
careful
now.
out here, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I have no mercy and no sympathy for these gold diggers. They gold diggers get what gold diggers deserve. That's just the way it rolls. You coming in with gold digging mentality, if you get done up in a gold digging way, it is what it is, man. Like there's just some women there, they have this Evelyn Lozada mentality on they're gonna come in and I'm gonna have sex with this dude, and I'm just gonna 18 years, and I'm just gonna put so many babies in. Da 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 da. If you have that mentality, you deserve what's coming your way, because you're not coming in already with a mentality or a mindset to come in knowing that you're gonna be there for the long haul. You're coming in with an interest. So because you're coming in with an interest, if you get done up, hey, that's on you. That's the way I look at it, man. Like, this is not even rocket science to me. This is why I don't understand why a lot of dudes are playing backwards with this. You know how we do, man. Netflix and chill, no dinner dates, none of that bullshit, man. This is how you weed out who's for real and who's not. You know, girl hit you up, hey, we're going to eat at this place. Next thing you know, you pay $300 and then you don't cut. No, Netflix and chill. I get to order in what we're gonna eat, and you're gonna be in my vicinity. You're gonna be in my space. That creates elements of vulnerability because now it's just me and you. So you can choose at that point if you want to leave or if you want to stay. But I'm in my space. We're eating my food that I've already ordered. So there's none of this $300. I've maybe spent $40, $50 on the DoorDash. We're good. And we're chilling. There's drinks here at the house so that you can't say, oh, I ain't got nothing to drink. No, 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 no. That's why I asked in advance, hey, what do you like to drink? Make sure I go to the store and get that. I'd rather get a cheap $10 bottle of wine than we go to a restaurant and then you paying 50, 60, $70. Come on, man. This is how you cut out all that bullshit. And the real ones that's gonna rock with you,
these are side
they're gonna be
pieces.
there.
This is the normal arrangement for side pieces. You're not trying to broke the bank on a side piece. You know, you're gonna do that for your main girl. You know what I'm saying? And he's acting accordingly on how you would treat a side piece. These
Yeah.
side pieces, they probably want more of a connection with him, but he already told them no, it's not gonna happen. But you got to stop running up in them raw, man. Like there's something called protection, man, or get them females to go on birth control, man. If you want to run up raw in them, man, you know what I'm saying? He's young, man, but that boy don't got no control, man. He don't got no dick discipline.
Yeah. I mean, he's young, bro. What young dude that I was that age. You was that. I don't know. I mean, maybe you more mature than me or Anthony Edwards, but what dude had dick discipline in their 20s? I'm just saying. Like
I
we
mean, if
forget
you
this.
got if you got if you got a whole bunch of bread like he do, you may have a different mentality. But if you young, you don't. We're not making like M's like that. Crazy money like that. You're not worried if you're gonna have a kid like a kid, or you're gonna bring a kid in the world. Like when you just coming up, you're not in that making that type of in that tax bracket. If you just have a kid out of nowhere, man, young like that, either if you just got out of college or you just graduated high school, you're gonna be worried, man, because taking care of the kid is not easy. The expenses that go into that, as a normal dude, coming up, like, hey, I'm not trying to bring a kid, a little one into the world at a young age, because it's gonna be hard, man. He could do that. I get it from that point of view, because he's got racks on racks on racks on racks, and
Yeah.
he plays in the NBA. He's one of the top players, and he's gonna be one of the top earners. So he can do that. He can get away with having 5, 6 kids, from 5 or 6 different women, and not worry about it. But when them checks start coming in, stop coming. Like Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, that boy got like 8 different baby mamas. There's a whole bunch of athletes that got like 8 or 9 different baby mamas. Sean Kemp, when them checks stop coming, man, you get, that's when you start worrying about it. Like, man, these kids, they cost, man. You know what I'm saying? That stuff
Yeah.
costs. So hopefully he matures, man, and he starts making better decisions. Because this is the second time this happened. You know, and going through this situation, he just starts to wisen up, man. Because that's pretty much what these females are out here for. They're not trying to be with Ant for Ant. They with him because of his fame, his stature, the money that he makes. They're trying to get a
I
piece out
mean,
of that. So
and he knows that. And he knows that. And he knows that. So what he's gonna basically do is leverage that in his favor. And you can't fault him for leveraging that. He's young, man. I don't fault young people for doing what young people do, because it's like you're playing judge, jury, and executioner when you knew damn well at those ages you was doing a lot of the same dumb, stupid fuckery shit too.
I was
Even
strapping
at
up.
a celebrity level, even at a celebrity level, human beings are gonna be human beings. They're gonna do what they do, man. But I like the fact that he put that woman on an 18-year plan, man. I'm sorry. He set a standard that other athletes weren't smart enough, they weren't savvy enough to do. And now what you're gonna see is more and more athletes are gonna start doing this. And you gotta give them credit for doing that shit, man. Look here, 18 years out the gate, fuck out of my face. Like I like that shit, man. Cause let's be honest, these women can be extra when it comes to that bread. Boy, they try to run sack everything about you, man. and leave you high and dry and leave you hanging like you don't even have a fruit left in you, man. So if I can give you 18 out the gate and tell you, hey, deuces, fuck out my damn face, there's nothing wrong with that. There actually needs to be more and more of that. And that's why you see the world is now returning back to its original state, because you see a lot of women are crying on these podcasts and social media and all of this, saying they want blue collar men again. I feel like men are now becoming men again. For a while, I was worried about. You remember, I was telling you that for years. I was worried about masculinity. I was worried about the state of men because it felt like men were becoming feminized. They were becoming more estrogen filled. Women were becoming more masculine. The women were actually, it seemed like they actually had growing fucking dicks. Like it was just weird. The world was really weird for a while. Now we're seeing, because guys are doing this passport bros, guys are not dealing with women in the West anymore. Guys are not putting up with shit. Guys are not even taking women out on dates. They're being like me. They're smart. They Netflix in their ass, DoorDash in their ass, because that's what the fuck you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Let's be smart with here. We're
guys
not
aren't really
spending.
courting. They're not really
We're
courting
smart.
women like that anymore.
Yeah, and one thing that I noticed that guys are smart with now, because me and you, we've been, you know the bloodline. You know how we get down, so we don't get played like that. But
Yeah,
these dudes, they, you be watching these dudes at the club, and these girls be running that drink game on them, and and next thing you know, these girls, they never bring money to the club, and then they done 10 drinks in off of dudes, all because the dudes say they cute. Now you seeing guys don't even buy them drinks anymore. They fucking smartening up. So these girls are now coming to the club saying we got to bring our credit card. Yeah, motherfucker, you were supposed to bring your credit card in the first place. And dudes wasn't supposed to be sitting here buying you drinks left and right. Like who's boo boo the fool? I guess guys are tired of getting done up, tired of leaving the club
they
with
tired of
nothing,
being
no ass.
they tired of being used and not getting
Yeah,
any.
tired. They're not even going to the clubs no more. Have you seen on these podcasts and on YouTube where they show you the clubs and they show you just number of females in there?
Yeah,
Guys are starting the fuck up, man. And then you got these girls crying on their soapbox saying, "Oh, I want a blue collar man again." I'm loving the way the world is moving, because that's the way the world was supposed to move in the first place. If guys weren't sitting there being gullible, allowing themselves to get done the fuck up, we wouldn't be in this position to start
yeah.
with.
Guys have been simping too hard, man. You know, for these last few years, and these women have been taking advantage of it. But guys are now getting tired of that stuff, and they're not gonna put in the same effort anymore. So these women are gonna have to find their own way. Men
Yeah,
are going their own way.
and guys are not getting married no more. So these women are screwed because they know they understand the game. They understand the game. The game is to get married with you as fast as possible so I can divorce you even faster. And if you look at the
Yeah,
percentages, 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Why are men
the
even wasting their
females.
time dealing with that? Come on now. They're gonna deal with that shit.
Exactly.
So this
Mm.
is where you see a lot of women out the gate. Oh, you just want to fuck. Da, 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 da. But all of the guys are telling you that now. I'm glad all the guys are saying that. That's the climate. Hey, look here. We just want to fuck. That's it. If that's how you want to be, then we're gonna show you how it is, and we're gonna show you how we're gonna be. That's the way the world should be, man. Treat them exactly the way that they want to be treated. If you want a quick transition, a quick transaction, you need to be treated like the quick transition and the quick transaction that you are. I don't have no problem with that. And now we're segueing into Kevin Gates and the situation where what Kevin Gates said. I have no problems with what Kevin Gates said. I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with it, because if you look at LeBron James, let's be honest. In today's world, you know this, man. You know this. You in Florida, so you know how it is. Me, I'm here in Podunky, Alaska, but it's everywhere. Snow bunnies look at black dudes like you a fucking lollipop. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's what it is. Comes with the fucking territory. It's grand opening, grand closing. Don't get me wrong. They got as quick as they ready to get in, as quick they ready to get out. That's the downfall with them. But when they in, boy, they do everything that these sisters are supposed to do. And that's why they wonder why these dudes run over to the snow bunny side. because that's what the sisters are supposed to do. If these sisters were doing this, brothers wouldn't leave to go out because the sisters have everything the brothers need. They got the goods, they got the body, they got the original package. But the reason why brothers are like, fuck you, we're going to deal with these snow bunnies because the snow bunnies know how to get on their knees. They know how to guzzle a damn ball sack. They know how to drain you properly. They know how to cook for you. They know how to clean. They know how to do it every motherfucking thing that they're supposed to do. No questions fucking asked. And it's consistent and it's regular. With these sisters, there's always a but. There's always an asterisk. There's always a way it has to be on a special occasion. It has to be this. It has to be that. And they do this with all kinds of brothers. If you've been with sisters, you know this. There's always some fucking asterisk.
And not that submissive, man.
Good place. We got to be in a good mood. It's not like that with these snow bunnies. They know it comes regularly, and it comes consistently. That's why you see this influx of interracial relationship at its highest margin of black and white men. People are wondering why that's happening the way it's happening. It's because, let's be honest, black men love sex. They love to get their shit swallowed. They love to be cooked, cleaned, and all of that. And then these snow bunnies are giving them that. That's what it boils down to. This is not even like rocket science. This is not Albert Einstein. This is simple math here. It's simple. And they just happen to be the ones that deliver it the best. So that's why these brothers run to them. It's not that they're running because they want to run away from the sisters. They just running away from the sisters because they getting this. Who wants to deal with this all the fucking day? Who wants to deal with that nonsense?
Arguments, attitudes, not being submissive to your man.
Yeah, not being agreeable, not doing what you're supposed to do as a fucking woman in the first place. Who wants to deal with that bullshit?
Yeah,
this is how some of you're supposed
they want to
do
be
this,
like
and you're supposed to do that. So you know what black men are like? What? Hold up. We're black men. We're like the creme de la crop. We're like royalty when it comes to women. All women want us, so we can dip in, dip out of ethnicities. Like black men know this shit, so that's why they dip in and dip out. And the black women think they can do what the black men do, and they find out they can't because they try to go with the white dudes or whatever, and they realize these white dudes just use them as trophies or whatever, and then throw them right back. No, y'all can't move the way we move. The way we move, we're gonna have Spanish for us, we're gonna have white for us, we're gonna have all kinds. So if you want to compete, you got to go back to the original state of what you was, submissive. You got to go back to the original state of what you were, agreeable. And then we'll start fucking choosing you and picking you again. That's the way this shit works. This is simple math. So when Kevin Gates says the white women are Googling and looking over LeBron over Savannah, they're right. Savannah James is comfortable. Her rabbit ass is too fucking comfortable. She thinks she's too arrived. No, you are with LeBron James. You're supposed to act like you're with LeBron James. You're not the prize. Don't nobody give a fuck about you, Savannah James. LeBron James is the prize. You need to act like that man is your king and your lord every time he's around you. You're not supposed to act like you're on equal footing with him. No, don't work like that. You're supposed to always, when a mic is on in your damn face, oh yes, I'm so happy to be with LeBron James. That's my husband. Da, 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 da. That's the shit that needs to be coming out your rabbit ass mouth. So I agree with Kevin Gates, man. I'm sorry. It's the truth. Because even LeBron knows that. And here's the thing. LeBron is fucking these. I don't give a fuck what anybody tell me. It's just LeBron ain't got caught. But those snow bunnies that's just sitting in the front, those snow bunnies that's game after game after game, man, if they go and dig the dirt on this motherfucker, he done had a whole bunch of, he done probably had snowflakes after snowflakes after snow. He probably had mountains of snow dumped in the back of his house throughout his career. Let's be honest. Didn't you say he was trying to holler at somebody at the Olympics and they turned him down or whatever, some bullshit like that?
LeBron probably be having people sign NDAs, man. He probably be getting Rich Paul to have some of the women he done mess with sign NDAs. So they can't divulge anything. Any experiences he had with any of these side pieces.
They're not doing that now because of the height of his celebrity. But once he's retired, you know how shit came out about Lance Armstrong after he retired and all that. It's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Believe me,
Because let's be honest, Jordan did it, Kobe did it.
Yeah,
They had side pieces, man. Come on, man.
yeah,
You that famous? You the
yeah,
famous game? Come on, man. You gonna have some 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 pieces, man, in different cities. Come on, man. We're not foolish. Come on now.
and LeBron is
They
such a
play they play
and
all
LeBron is
over
such a
them cities.
puppet. And LeBron is such a puppet. You see him go and have to do the clapback like he was doing something so special to Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates looks like the alpha in the situation. You look like the beta. You look like Will Smith in the situation because you know what Kevin Gates said was right. You should have just stayed quiet and let your wife do the clapback and then don't say nothing and see what she has to say. Let her tell on herself. Let her reveal herself. Let her reveal her true nature. Let her reveal the fact that what Kevin Gates was saying is right. Kevin Gates is right. You're fucking LeBron James. Your wife is supposed to basically lick the ground you walk on. You're fucking LeBron James. I'm sorry. You're a fucking billionaire. Who the fuck is Savannah James? I'm sorry. Like, am I saying something here that's not making sense?
I mean,
That's just like
she
Stephen Curry and
like
Aisha
yeah,
Curry.
she's the mother of his children. She's the one that
Yeah, I
looks
don't give
after
a
the
fuck about
kids
all
at
that.
home.
I don't give a fuck about all that. He's
But
still LeBron James. She's
she's gonna
Savannah
try to
James.
she she's gonna try to talk about her value, what value she brings
Yeah, but
to the
what value?
table.
What value? Do you, listen. If LeBron James is not out there doing what LeBron James does, you don't live the life that you live. Let's be honest. If LeBron James doesn't have the gift that God gave him as a basketball player, that lifestyle is not there. Let's be honest here, man. That whole
That's true.
lifestyle is created and cultivated because LeBron James has the ability that he has to put the ball in the hoop. If he doesn't have that, one, Savannah James is not staying around as long as she is. And that's the thing with these women that they don't want to tell you that's the truth. One, she's not staying around as long as she is. She stayed there because she saw the potential of what LeBron James was going to be. She's not opening those legs, baking those ovens to give kids because she saw the potential. So I don't want to hear this nonsense about his mother. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that has some kind of intrinsic and extrinsic value, but somebody else could be a mother too. LeBron James could have ended up having other women that could have been mothers of their kids. What else of value do you bring to the table outside of that? Every woman could open their legs and spread it and give a kids. Like people act like this is special.
I mean, that's the only value she really brings. Uh,
But is it
that's
really
I was
valuable?
saying in a way
Procreation.
where that's what she would use as a defense mechanism, where
Yeah, but
that's how she's gonna display
procreation
her
from the
value.
beginning of time, procreation from the beginning of time was a natural evolution, just like taking a shit. Like, was God rewarding Adam and Eve because of the fact that they could procreate to say, oh, that is a reward, or was it just something that was supposed to just happen because it's natural happenstance? Like people are rewarding and giving people brownie points for shit that you're supposed to do. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you're married to somebody, eventually you're going to end up having kids for them. So you want me to give you a brownie points because you have kids? Fuck out of here with that shit. That's not brownie points. Brownie points is how you treat me. Is are you my peace? Are you not a fucking headache? Do you bring value to me? Do you uplift me? Do you support me? Do you show the world that I am everything that I am to you? And that's what Kevin Gates was speaking to. And I have to agree with the motherfucker on that. Because when you look at her, she looks like she's a little too fucking comfortable. Like she done forgot. It's just the same thing with Aisha Curry with Stephen Curry. Like they forgot why they're in the positions that they're in. Come on, man.
Mm.
You know how many females want to be in the position that you're in? I'm just saying. So is he really wrong in what he's saying? Is he really wrong in how he said it? Or did it offend a lot of people? He just said something that, because remember the truth. Hebrews 4, verse 12, for the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit, even unto the joints and marrows, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. When you tell the truth, it's like a two-edged sword. He told the truth. So because he told the truth, so many people got offended by the truth that he told. Because that's what the truth does, man. It's visceral. It's like visceral fat on the body, and how visceral fat on the body needs to be cut deep through what? Working out, cut deep through aggressive dieting, cut deep through intense cardio, right? Well, it's the same way. You got to take that two-edged sword and cut through that visceral fat of the ugliness of lies with the truth that Kevin Gates said. And he told the damn truth. I'm sorry.
Mm.
And now what it forced Savannah James to have to do, because she wasn't doing it, whether she wants to accept it or not, he actually made her a better wife to LeBron now. Because now she has to pay attention now. See, by him saying it and vocalizing it, that means other people were feeling the way he was feeling about it and didn't say it. So now she has to pay attention to her surroundings and realize, yeah, I am with LeBron James. I am with the prize. So I better treat this motherfucker like the prize he is. He actually helped them.
Well, I mean, LeBron put a caption on his Instagram page, basically saying, it's about us, and he called Savannah his queen, so maybe he threw shade towards that dude. He's not going along with what he said. LeBron is
Man,
going.
LeBron James is doing that. LeBron James ain't slick. He's doing that to cover up what the fuck he's doing on the side, man. It's well known and documented that he's had relationships with that Rachel Nichols chick. Yeah, he got it in with that chick, that announcer, the journalist or whatever. Yeah, it's documented with
I
that.
thought it was Jimmy Butler.
This one, yeah, and then you got this other chick that she was kicked out of LeBron James. Remember when he had a wedding or whatever?
Yes, Jules. She's like a famous. Well, she's not. I don't know if she's famous or not, but she's like a promoter or somebody like
Yeah,
that.
she went against NDAs and all that. That's why I said that NDA is bullshit. She went against all of that and said it's just right now the reason why it's not getting steam is because LeBron James is still in the league and the league is still profiting off of him. But the fact that he started pissing off these media heads, which fucked him over. This is why the PEDs and that dirt's gonna come out too. Now the media is not gonna have ability to want to protect them anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. As
Yeah.
someone who came out a month ago dissing media personalities, LeBron is gonna pay for that in the end, man, when he retires. Like these dudes are
no chick's gonna come and just try to sabotage your wedding because some shit didn't happen. Women don't move like that. They only doing that shit because of some shit happened. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. She probably thought she was more than just a side chick, and she didn't like the fact that she was hearing he was getting married, and she wanted to sabotage. Women move that way when they are invested in you on that level. So whatever they say, he did it, like 50 Cent always say. With Drake. Whatever they say he did, yeah, he did it, and I believe it. Yeah, he did that shit, and I believe that shit. So it is what it is. Yeah, he did it, and I believe that shit. He's just mad at Kevin Gates, and then you want to try to throw Kevin Gates. At least Kevin Gates is honest about the fact that he's fucking multiple women and dealing with more. There's nothing more beautiful than when a man can be honest about who he is, how he moves, and he don't give a fuck what people think. So you mad at him for living in his truth, but you want to hide your truth, knowing damn well Savannah's not the only one when you bang. Come on now, man. Like, come on. Like, we living under a rock. You have a true LeBron fan, but because LeBron fans are blind, you have to be truly blind to think that LeBron James has only been with Savannah James his whole NBA career. Come on, man.
Nah, I'm not buying that.
with
I
his
mean,
level of stature, his level of celebrity. Come on, man.
exactly.
Fuck out of here with that. Wasn't he in these Diddy parties too? He probably was getting in an ass too. Now we have to question that. He probably was getting in an ass
Yeah,
too.
that's
He probably
that's
getting
the
down like
people
that
better
too.
bring that up. He was in those Diddy parties.
I'm just saying. Probably getting in an ass too. Because you know it's highly weird. Because we saw the video when he was with Diddy. Hey man, and he's telling his kids, hey, you know Diddy's in the video, man. Hey man. Ever since then he put that shit down. That video look a little suspect. Why you trying to party a little extra hard with the hey Diddy, man? You know how we get down, man. Like we do in the white parties. Look, man, I don't put nothing past any of these highly weird motherfuckers, man. I'm sorry.
And we don't
At
know what
least with
goes down
Anthony
behind
Edwards,
closed doors.
at least with Anthony Edwards, the shit that he's doing, it's right in front of you. He's not hiding it. To me, guys like LeBron James are the most fake people because you know what the fuck they doing. They just trying to mask it like you don't know. When
Mm.
when when, when that shit came out with Kobe, Kobe admitted it. Yeah, I fucked that girl in Colorado. And then when he gave Vanessa the $4 million ring, yeah, I ran through 105 women in that span. He said it. He didn't deny the shit.
Yeah.
Jordan, when Jordan had the divorce with his wife, he was on Oprah. Yeah, I had a lot of infidelities. Motherfuckers admitting shit. But LeBron want to act like he's above the water. Fuck out of here, man. You ain't above that water, bro. And nobody's going to tell me otherwise.
Exactly. I mean, you got to see the amount of bad women throw themselves at you that look much better than your wife. You know what I'm saying? You gonna slip up, man, because it's just yeah. These girls, man, the type of places that these athletes frequent. These women are gonna find their ways on how to sneak in these places. So you're gonna see these women
Exactly.
around. That's how some of these
Exactly.
athletes get caught up sometimes.
Women are cutthroat, bro. When I say they cutthroat, you know this, man, because you've look. I don't want to go in depth with this shit, but women do some of the most conniving, manipulating, and cutthroat shit. We talking about women that are involved with dudes, women that are married, women that are gay. I'm not gonna talk about my business here, but I've seen the ugliest sides of women. And I know you've seen the ugliest sides of them. That's why I don't have no mercy and I don't have no sympathy for these fuckers because I know how they get down.
Yeah,
I know how they get down. Man, I'm in the gym all because I got a little tank top on. Motherfuckers holding their husband holding them extra tight. That's not gonna stop your woman from wanting me to fuck her. If anything, it's gonna make her want to fuck me even more. And then they give you that stupid look. They pull their hair. I'm telling you, man. They cutthroat, dog. And then you see them the next day in the gym. They had the wedding ring here, and then the wedding ring's here. So when did the wedding ring go from here to here? Then next thing you know, it's not even on the finger. Then they come up to you, and then they say, "Hey, big head." You already know when you hear that big head shit. You already know what the fuck that means. So I've seen the ugliest sides of these motherfuckers. So that's why I'm not I'm not mad at dudes getting their rocks off with females on the side. I'm not mad at that. The thing about it, the situation here with LeBron James, LeBron's just not honest about it. You're LeBron James. So what if you fucking other women? It's like you think people are not stupid enough to know that you're not? You're LeBron James. Shit, everybody knows Jay-Z was fucking other people, other women. And what did Jay-Z do? A 444 album about it. Like, come on. When you hit a certain level, it is what it is. Shit, dudes that are not even on those levels, dudes that work at Mickey D's are running through fucking chicks left and right. and they open in front about it.
Exactly.
I don't have a problem with dudes running through chicks. You know why? Because chicks need to be ran the fuck through. Because they not loyal like that, man. You
They're
can't
not.
trust it. Anything a woman tells you. The only thing you can trust is what's in front of you. Anything that's not in front of you, you can't trust that shit, man. Because as long as a woman has a phone, she's lying, bro. If that
Exactly.
woman has a phone in her hand, she's lying, bro. I'm telling you. Unless you have access to all social media, all the DMs, everything they got going on to see what's going on. That's why I laugh at somebody like Travis Hunter, because it's very clear your woman is, come on, man. Like, even Shador Sanders was like, yo, you're not gonna do a prenup. You're not gonna do, you're not gonna do one of those types of. He's telling Shador, oh no, she done took everything. Motherfucker, this motherfucker fucking so many motherfuckers. She was already doing it with random dudes in front of you. When you guys get to the league, she's gonna be doing it with other dudes. I watched this dude on Snapchat. His name is Chupapi Muñeño. I don't know if you know who the fuck this dude is, but he got this girl that he's dealing with. Clearly, she's out of his league. And as soon as I saw the situation, I was like, yeah, she's fucking other dudes. And guess who's in her DMs right now? Damian Lillard. Motherfucker, you think you're gonna be able to compete with Damian Lillard? I bet you Damian Lillard already clapped them fucking cheeks. Already. Maybe a few times. And this is how you know he was already starting to clap it. Because one time they was on like a little segment and she said to him, see, that's why I don't like you. You're too clingy. When a woman starts embarrassing you in front of people in public, that means there's another dick in there that's inseminating DNA in her. Because women don't embarrass you unless they've already been moved on to somebody else. Come on, man. We know the game, man. And whoever's listening, I'm trying to give you game. If your woman is acting like that, that means somebody's infecting their DNA. They're infecting their cum inside of them. Because they wouldn't disrespect you blatantly and act like that unless somebody else is fucking the shit out of them. Guys need to wake the fuck up. So you knowing this and knowing this is how they move, you should be running through them too. Like, this is not no pity party. This is listen, man. This shit is not for the weak. Motherfuckers,
Man. It's not a headache.
man, this shit is not for the weak, bro. It's not for the weak. And I'm gonna tell you the hardest and the most coldest thing before we get off this live. If you have a woman, the hardest and the coldest truth is you have to think in the back of your mind that she's guilty of something. You have to think that automatically. If you can't be honest with yourself as a man to think that she is guilty of something when she's not around you, you are not being honest with yourself.
And
And you
some
know the way
dudes
you're
just
going to deal with that? You know the way you're going to deal with that? You're going to get relief somewhere else. That's how you can deal with the nonsense of that in your conscience. Because at least if it comes out that she was doing something else, you doing your shit. And you don't have to worry about it. Guys get so caught up in, oh, that's my woman. She would never do. Okay. She would never. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, your woman would never. Okay. Until you see the video of her topping off another dude and she's on the phone with you telling you, I'm going to be home in 30 minutes. Then come home, brush her teeth, kiss you on the damn lips like nothing happened.
mm,
I mean, that's how they move. They reckless like that, man. And the evolution of social media and the access that they have, the DMs that they have and all that, man. No, man. I don't give a fuck
some
how
dudes,
good you
man, some dudes just want to be on that Mario Winans, man. They don't want to know. I don't want to know
are.
if you creep and keep it on. They don't want to know that. They don't want. They don't want to know that they share that girl, man. That's how it is. A lot of dudes are
They
sharing their
sharing.
girls.
They sharing and they don't understand how much they sharing because women have eyes and women like different things in different men. They may like the way this guy's confidence is that their man is lacking. They may like the fact that this guy has more money that this man doesn't have. So they list They're categories of men based on that. And that's what a lot of guys are just oblivious to. Your woman's coming home to you, making you think everything is all kosher, and it's really not. So that's why I tell dudes, run through them. Motherfucker said, "Oh, you that's the worst advice." No, it's the greatest advice because when you running through them, even if you getting ran through, you can't even stop to know the running through that's happening to you because you running through. I think what I said went over a lot of motherfuckers' heads. When you running through motherfuckers, you don't have time to sit down and think of the motherfuckers that's running through you because you running through, meaning you so occupied running through motherfuckers that even if you getting ran through, you don't even feel it because you running through. You get what I'm saying?
You get what you're saying. You get what you're
All
saying.
right, then. That's game. I just gave game right there. But when you're not running through and you just so-called being the dutiful dude and she's getting her rocks off because she is getting her rocks off and she is getting plowed. You hear work husband? That motherfucker's fucking. I'm telling you, man, it's cold words. You got to know the cold words. You got to know the cold words, man. You hear all of this other male friend access. You got to understand how these things work. So you need to do what you got to do, man. Simple. So Kevin Gates saying what he said, I have no problems with it. Because at the end of the day, he's LeBron James, not her. We don't know Savannah. Let's be honest, we don't give a fuck about Savannah James. The only person we give a fuck about is who? The only name we care about is who?
LeBron James.
All right, then. It is what it is. So I rest my case with that, man. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to say?
Nah, I don't want to. I'm pretty much. We pretty much touched on what we had to say on that topic.
All right, good. I'm glad we touched on it. And I'm glad we was able to be real. As real as we could be, man, because people need to hear this shit, man. All right, bro.
Yeah.
It's been real. Peace.
Peace on that.